Hey! $50 for a Sakura skin? They can't be serious, right? Okay, I guess when you buy them, a legendary fighter evolves with them too, I guess. But like, what? $50 for a Sakura skin?
6.5 hours later.
Hold up! Look at Chungli, look at baby girl. She out here thick. Hold on. I think Capcom, Crunchyroll, y'all got me. With multiple reroll attempts, I have played a total of 10 hours in Street Fighter Duel. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. Should you play Street Fighter Duel? Is it worth your time and maybe your wallet? Real talk, the answer is yes and hell no. Now to preference this, I am not the biggest fan of gacha or mobile games. My problem with gacha and mobile games entirely is that they come out very repetitive early on. For me, usually the first 2 hours, and then I realize there's nothing else for me to really get excited about. So for me, I'd rather either A, not play a mobile game, or wait till I get the chance to play some games at all. Especially when new mobile games or gacha games come out, they feel very limited in what you can do and may not have all the features and some requirements in some places. I will 100% say Street Fighter Duel, since it was already being made in China, it has a lot to offer on launch with the global version of Street Fighter Duel. The reason why I decided to dive deep into this, and again, I have to say this again, I'm usually anti-mobile games. And you're probably wondering, well, why are you covering this now? Well, one, I want to see how fighting games can branch into other genres. That's something I'm very interested and intrigued by. So I decided to take a crack at trying Street Fighter Duel. Hey, you watching this video, you this far in the video and you haven't hit the subscribe button. I would love if y'all subscribe. Now let's return back to the video. I personally think so far from my knowledge, the best fighting game, I guess mobile gacha game, has to be the King of Fighters All-Stars. The gameplay of that game is 10 times better than Street Fighter Duel, and it makes me happy in that department. And I'll talk about why it kind of disappoints me a little bit with Street Fighter Duel. First thing first, let's talk about the gameplay. Essentially, I am very disappointed that the gameplay didn't decide to do something crazier with it than what it did with Street Fighter 4 on the iOS back in the day. I was expecting at least some type of like, you know, touch the screen, the combo, then you tag them in and stuff like that. I haven't actually looked at gameplay at all for Street Fighter Duel going into this. I just knew from Capcom Cup and it's time to ride. You know what I'm talking about.
No, God!
Early on, the gameplay, I almost gave up on the game in like the first 30 minutes of me playing it. I was like, this might be the most boring way to do this in all of the game. It's cool to see them fight and have the animations, but the fact that I can't do anything like the inputs on screen myself, that's very disappointing. I think that's why a lot of fighting game players probably hate Street Fighter Duel, because they don't even have any of that connection to it, and a lot of people outside of the traditional fighting games are like, this has nothing to really do with Street Fighter. However, once I got into like the 2 hour mark of playing the game a little bit, the way I went through it, that started to open up a little bit. The game gives you C Viper, and when it gives you C Viper, you comboing their specials and linking them can be very fun to play here and there. I know there's even some moments where like when you get the chain with C Viper and she does the, I forgot the name of the move in Street Fighter 4, that kick, you can literally miss. So like you do gotta pay attention a little bit. You can't just put it on auto, but if you do it yourself, you gotta pay attention or you just waste opportunity for big damage. Now, when you get even further until you get to a certain part in the story, you start to unlock getting super moves, which I think they give everybody Cody's. Now, this opens up the battles to another level. I think this is dope because it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Trap cards to fill spells in my brain. That's how I see it. But it's pretty dope that they did this for Street Fighter Duel. The worst part about Street Fighter Duel is the versus arena. You can't really fight in the versus arena, you just watch the battles and let them go down. I think when you're sparring people though, you can fight them in real time. But other than that, that ain't it. That ain't it. I personally feel like that's a fumble. I wish it had like actual live PvP. I know a game that had actual live PvP that I truly enjoyed was Naruto Blazing. I think we take Naruto Blazing PvP for granted. I wasn't the person to play it 24/7 like all the other content creators and YouTubers, but from the moments that I did play with PvP and going through missions with people, it was fun as hell. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's also really corny that the arena has a limit to how many times you could do it. I mean, I guess it's to not make people just grind out and win and get the top of the leaderboards, but only having, I think they give you 3 challenge tickets is how you obtain them. However, if you play the daily mission or just doing the typical story mode, then you can get challenge tickets. The next thing I hate about this game, and they didn't even try here, is the freaking story mode. The story mode is so bad. It don't even like reference some stuff like that. Honestly, you get more out of the in-game bios and your characters than actually the story mode. The story mode itself is just generic. Oh, shadow loot agents, beat them up, ha ha ha, you cook. That's pretty much what it is. It feels very soulless in my honest opinion with the story in this game. But however, I guess it kind of sucks. And you'll probably be like, well, fighting games never have good story modes. I mean, you can say that, but at least it's more lore tied. This feels very generic. Like, what I also like is why I said this game may have a lot more to offer than just how base games usually just have the one story mode route you have to keep leveling up and going through. You having the Explore tab gives you other ways to unlock and keep playing the game for longevity. If you're really struggling trying to get materials and items to level up fast in the game, I highly recommend you do Shadowloo City and the Supreme Fist. They're like towers pretty much, you just beat them. It's kind of like arcade mode in a way for both of them. However, every few floors they give you like a lot of crystals to summon, and if you get to a certain point in Supreme Fist, they give you like almost 100 to 400 gems for summoning. Now, my biggest thing I hate, and this is why I really get annoyed with gacha games, is I hate the idea that I can't never just spend a certain amount. I don't even care if it costs more. I would just spend for the unit. Like, say for instance, one draws 700. Let me spend 700 crystals to get Chun-Li. You get what I'm saying? I don't know. I guess that's a part of the whole gimmick with gacha games and mobile games in general. I'm just not a big fan of that. However, I've gotten some cool pulls in the game, and since this game has a lot of characters, you will get a lot of random stuff here and there. Okay, who's this right here? Poison, let's go. We got Poison, we got baby girl. They, them, queen, it don't matter. I'm putting Poison on the team now. I think Street Fighter Duel has over 40 characters on launch, and they have different variations with some characters having different costumes. I still ain't got Chun-Li after multiple reroll attempts, and I ain't doing all that for a game I don't plan on playing after this period of time, so I don't know. There's that. Another thing about the gameplay is that characters are tied to specific character types, things of that nature. You have, I forget, where is it at? For example, Sakura is lightning, then you got freaking Ibuki, that's wind, you got Fei Long and Ken is fire, etc. It's pretty dope how they do the whole leveling system in this game. You know, the basic triangle for what beats what, that is in this game. However, you can obviously tell that some characters in this game are better than others. Like right now, I think Chun-Li is broken. From my experience, Gao has been cooking and carrying because he can just throw sonic booms in the back and just stun enemies. There are some characters that I feel like this game might become pay to win in a way, because you're gonna get some units that's gonna be broke. I don't think everybody balanced in this game, but from my knowledge, that's just early on from the amount of time I put into this. Oh, what I really like about Street Fighter Duel is the bag. So essentially, when you level up in a unit or character, stuff like that, if you run out of stuff and you have some extra stuff in your bag, there are some items that they give you, like immediately receive 8 hours worth of fighter EXP, you know, and then you just claim them and you get them and you go on with your day and you can keep leveling them up. That's pretty cool. From what my knowledge is, I think in most games you have to convert like very valuable resources, at least from when I dived deep into mobile games like 3-4 years ago. I think it was more annoying in those games. Here, this seems like it gives you an opportunity to still continue playing the game even if you run out of resources. There's always another way to do something in this game. I think that's the trap though. I think this game has so much stuff on the surface that when you get to a certain point, like I think it probably the next couple hours or so in the game, past the 10-hour mark, even later, depending on how you play the game, right? you might get trapped and then you might be like, dang, I gotta spend money or things of that nature. That could be the loophole. You see how cautious I am about mobile games? I know. One of the coolest features is unlocking the dojo in the game. You seeing how Dan cleans up the dojo? That's pretty cool. You can pretty much like, okay, the coolest part about this game is the dojo. So if you play games like Hong Kong Impact 3rd, things of that nature, they have their own rooms. This is kind of similar, but for Street Fighter. This is pretty dope because you can visit other people's rooms based on people you've added and check out the stuff they have. I ain't really been messing with the dojo, but right now I just see like, oh, look, there's free stuff in here. Cool Whip. Yay. Okay. The one thing I think that's really cool about the game is the challenges. I think the challenges where they come up on the side where they're like, yo, superhero. And you have like trials challenge to beat these characters. It helps understand how much you understand the game mechanics, or you may not have a unit strong enough to help beat this at this race so far. And it looks like it doesn't disappear right now, so I think that's dope. Overall, I think for a first time gacha experience, if you looking to get into this because of Street Fighter and stuff like that, I will tell you, just go play Street Fighter 5 or Street Fighter 6, man. However, I do think as a gacha experience overall, this comes out very game packed. It's a lot of stuff here to do in this game. You don't feel like you just got to do one thing, back out, do another maybe section, back out, and that's it, right? So here, this game is very further along development than most other gacha games globally when they launch. You know, this game has 2 years of data and information behind it compared to, I think, the Chinese Korean version of the game, if I'm not mistaken. But I think that's beautiful. However, for me, I just wish one day we could get a Street Fighter RPG, something cool like that. I know Mortal Kombat has something like Shaolin Monks, that action adventure game. I don't know. I want something like that one day for Street Fighter. That would be pretty dope with an actual written story. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this little discussion review, if you guys enjoy my thoughts and my review on Street Fighter Duel, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and join the Discord in the description down below. It shall be there. Come through, say hi to your boy. It's your boy Avataryaya. You guys are golden, and that is raw. Squalla, peace, and I'm out.
I've been a devil, I need me an arc in the heart of my breathing, I feel like Tanjiro. Walking this bitch with a zapato, I'll let you rock it, I keep me a domino. Bitch on my dick, man, I feel like Kazaki. Stretching that pussy out like it's Pilates. I'm snatching the soul like right out of a body. Fire, I'm spitting, I'm feeling like Dobby. White bitch, blonde hair, looking like Lucy. She from Kyoshi, I paint her face Suki.